20 years old again. You just need to be able to move that pencil. I had a person that emailed me and was saying, it was great to see this email, saying that they were, 13 or 15 years old and they love art and they want to pursue it. Are they too young? Heck no. I started professionally when I was 17. Like, it doesn't matter your age, especially when you're on the internet doing things. Nobody even sees you at that point. I seem to recall somebody, I think it was CG Talk or something like that, where this person was like 14 or 15 years old and modeled this race car that was absolutely, totally professional and not just professional, but amazing too. It was awesome. I couldn't believe it. Well, actually, I could believe it. I was like, wow, good for that person. Seriously. It doesn't matter their age because, before they even said their age, everybody was still like, wow, this is really cool stuff. So it doesn't matter if you are 13, 12 years old. It doesn't matter if you're 60 years old. If you want to draw and paint, you can do it and you can get better at it. And you can get to points that you never thought you would ever gotten to, ever. As long as you believe in yourself. And the other thing that you need is common sense. Working hard, believing in yourself, and having some common sense. If you think you're good, if you think you're ready, then expose yourself on the internet. Go to the most popular forums and present your art. Join up and show your art. Show your art to the rest of the world. Because if you just sit at home and you're just doing amazing stuff at home, nobody's gonna know. I was at the Toronto Comic Convention, uh, I guess a few weeks ago now, and I saw one of my old friends there, and he had his portfolio there of comic book art, and he was going around showing, whoever he could show that might be able to give him a job, showing him his comic book portfolio. But the thing was that this was the wrong convention to go to. There were more exhibitors than there were attendees almost. It was crazy. So anyways, this person had amazing art, no exposure, so no success. Still struggling. Well, I don't know how much he is struggling or anything, but I know that he's struggling a lot more than me. Anyways, and he's a very good artist. So how to expose yourself? How to get to those the most popular communities and all that, and show you're here, show your stuff. Well, let me tell you about this site that I found out about um, by a friend of mine. It's called Alexa.com. And this was a pretty interesting site. I'm not affiliated with the site or anything like that, but I thought it was pretty interesting, so I figured I'd tell you. Alexa.com, it's really interesting because you could put in all these different sites and compare them as in terms of ranking. So you can compare all of these amazing art forums to each other or art sites to other art sites. Forums will always be drastically bigger in ranking than, art sites, but I was really amazed to see the drastic differences between all the other art sites and DeviantArt.com. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with any of these sites, but DeviantArt.com is gigantic. Looking at CG Talk compared to ConceptArt.org, CG Talk is way bigger than Concept Art, but I was really surprised to see how much DeviantArt towers over all the other sites. It's absolutely amazing. So, obviously I have an account there now. So, if you have a DeviantArt account, come check out mine. I think it's imaginism.deviantart.com or something like that. Anyhow, I want to end off this podcast with a story about when we were in the Motor City Comic Con driving back from Novi, Michigan, which was where it was held, and driving back to, Toronto. As we're driving along during this trip, we got three tickets, two speeding tickets, and not wearing your seatbelt ticket, even though the passenger was wearing his seatbelt. How ridiculous was that? Anyways, so I'm driving along in Michigan, and we get pulled over once. The person's pretty nice and gives me a speeding ticket. I have no idea about miles versus kilometers, things like that. So I'm just doing my thing and I'm just driving, right? So uh, little did I know I was going over the speed limit. I get a ticket. Okay, whatever. It's been a long time since I've gotten a speeding ticket, so I was like, okay, fine. And then I'm driving past the border, driving through a lot of wooded country area, and I'm thinking to myself, if you ever heard of the expression that things come in threes, I'm thinking to myself, man, I have this parking ticket from a few days ago, just before we left for the Motor City Comic Con. And now I have this new ticket in my pocket. So that makes two. Man, I better watch out before I get a third ticket because things come in threes. And just as I'm thinking that, all I see in my back mirror is another police car. I wasn't paying attention. I was just thinking about three tickets. Bad things come in threes, and all of a sudden, as I'm thinking that, I don't notice how fast I'm driving in this wooded area because it's all just trees going past you. It's not like they're buildings, so you don't notice how fast you're going. Anyways, I get pulled over again, two times in one day. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, why, why? But also, I was thinking to myself, everybody kind of has this their theories in their heads about the best excuse you can use, possible to help get you off of a speeding ticket. And I was thinking to myself, well, I don't know where I got it from, but I always had it in my head from a very long time ago, the ultimate way to get out of a speeding ticket. And that is, if a lot of people they say, well, I need to go to the washroom. I really need to go to the washroom. That's why I was speeding. That's my excuse. Well, the police officer will think to themselves, well, if I let you go, you're still going to need to go to the washroom. And now, even more so, now that I've stopped you for a while, so you're probably going to just speed on off again. So I'm going to give you a ticket. But with this theory, what you're supposed to do is you grab a water bottle, you dunk water all over your crotch, and then you tell the officer that, officer, I really needed to go to the washroom, and I'm so embarrassed, but I couldn't even hold it any longer. I'm just having the worst day in the world, and look at me. I just went to the washroom in my pants. And the police officer is supposed to, by theory, they're supposed to feel so sorry for you and actually find it funny that, and they will just let you go with a warning because they already feel bad for you. So when I got pulled over, I look over to Kay and I ask her, pass me the water bottle, and they're both like, because they've heard of my little theories and all this before, they started laughing. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, pass me the water bottle. So I grab the water bottle, I open it up and I dunk all this water all over my crotch. And when the police officer comes, they'll see a grown man that has wetted himself because he needed to go to the washroom so bad. No wonder he was speeding. Right? This is what I was thinking. So he rolls down the window. I tell her, I'm having the worst day of my life to this officer. You know, I I just really needed to go to the washroom and now I've messed myself. Just I don't know. Like give me a break. The officer looks at me, sees me with, what's supposed to be just piss all over my pants, and she starts laughing at me. She starts laughing at me, takes my license, goes back to her car, and comes back with a ticket. Not only that, but gives my friend a ticket in the back, gives T a ticket in the back for not wearing his seatbelt properly. What he was doing was he just fell asleep and fell over, with his seatbelt still on, sleeping there. Gets a ticket anyways. Can you even believe this? Man, so it's just like, even if he was wearing a seatbelt wrong, why be such, you know, a mean person when it's obvious that the person was not trying to, get away with anything. They're trying to do the proper thing, wearing an uncomfortable seatbelt, like lying down. Anyways, so that was my story. So not only did I get two tickets in one day, and then, my buddy T got a ticket as well, but I pretended to, urinate in my pants to hopefully get some pity marks from this police officer, and your buddy Bobby gets laughed at. Just laughed at, and given a ticket without any kind of reduction, with any kind of pity or anything, just laughed at, and then leaves. Man, that was pretty, that was pretty humiliating. But there was a point to the story, and that was, after being humiliated and everybody's laughing at me in the car for 5 minutes, and I was laughing too, it was funny. But, the ticket was pretty high, and I wasn't liking that. But after, sitting there and just feeling down about it for about 30 seconds, we started laughing about it because we all started thinking, wow, that was like the worst luck in the world. I wonder what kind of good things are going to happen to us now that we just went through that. And lo and behold, a week later, we set up this sweet deal, this sweet, sweet deal that I can't really tell anybody about right now. So I'm gonna have to keep it under wraps for now. And then we secure another sweet deal that is a huge, huge project for us that we are extremely excited about. And was it coincidence? Even if it was, I'm not gonna believe it. I'm gonna believe that all that bad stuff happened to me because this all these good things were gonna happen to me in the near future. And they did. And who cares if it was a coincidence or not? I'm gonna believe in it. This way, the next time anything bad happens to me, I will still have a positive outlook on the situation. Not only that, but sometimes I might even get excited. Oh, what's the good thing that's going to happen to me? So I think I've definitely taken up enough time now. So I just wanted to share that last story with you. I hope everybody is, you know, rejuvenated and energized to keep working, that much harder. Push yourself just a little bit more to get to your dreams because, I did it. I believe you can do it. I believe anybody can do it as long as they want it bad enough. Okay, so this is Bobby Chiu signing off. Thanks for listening. Take care.